More cities are falling and falling hard. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up and strap in. I got a hard-hitting pull-to punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage. Today is another big city is showing a big reverse course. Like I always say, throw a dart at a map and you're probably going to hit an area that's reversing course. That's just now we're just getting started. Like I've always said, tail end of a crisis, front end of a recession, the correction phase of an economic downturn, the correction phase of a real estate crash. And let's just not sugarcoat it. Anytime we've had booms and busts, we've always had booms and busts in the market, and every time the housing market, the U.S. housing market, the biggest asset class in the world, the biggest asset class in the world that can collapse the U.S. economy, that's happened before and will happen again. Every time that market has exhibited bubble behavior, they've crashed 100% of the time. So even as an industry guy, I knew the second we overstimulated the biggest asset class in the world by stifling inventory, locking people at home, making realtors and real estate agents essential workers, letting them go out and sell in that environment, and dropping interest rates, putting that type of upward pressure on the markets, creating FOMO, the fear of missing out, herd mentality, we were in big trouble. And then I had to watch people in the industry normalize it because they had financial gain. It was similar to hitting the lotto for a lot of these people. And I was just talking to one of you, a subscriber the other day, Ed, actually here in my hometown, I believe. And we were talking about that. He through the conversation, he said, you brought up a really interesting subject. The people that in the crisis that were benefited from the stimulus era went out and financed stuff based on artificial incomes, pandemic, crisis incomes. And now that income's no longer there, but their payments that they got under are remaining the same. And that's what we're seeing in the markets right now, in the real estate market. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at one of America's greatest cities. I've been there before. Actually, it's just a big city. Actually, I would never want to live there personally. It's just not my type of weather. It's not my type of person. It's not my type of anything, but I've been there. And they overheated in spectacular fashion in the crisis. They were all over the news because they had a bunch of baloney going on, poorly run city and state. And they're now suffering blowback with their real estate. And it's throwing darts at a map. I could pull so many. But to drive our point home and to add a little color to the video, let's go ahead and race on over to today's property. Then we'll meet back here to wrap it up. Let's get started. All right, friends, buckle up and strap in as we take a drive over to today's property. We are in Seattle, Washington, the Great Pacific Northwest. And this is a city that had huge problems during the crisis. A lot of crime, homelessness, and other issues exploded, and the real estate market followed suit as it continues to reverse course. And here we go. We'll bring up today's crash map, courtesy of our good friends over at Zillow, the now debunked iBuyer company that's in fact throwing people overboard as we speak as well. Today's property is a brand new home, a FOMO factory staged to perfection, started before the downturn, started before the reverse course, and it's stuck empty, sucking air with no buyers willing to pull the trigger in this city anymore. Let's jump into the numbers and see what's going on there. The new construction Quincy greets you with a charming entry foyer. The open great room includes a gourmet kitchen, cafe, and gathering room. And today's brand new home sits stuck on the market at just under $1.3 million. Let's see where they started. And as we move along, we can tell $1.7 million down to $1.3. $400,000 of equity evaporated and still stuck on the market, not even close to getting sold. They're going to have to go a little bit lower. No one's going to give them their asking price. They are in big, massive trouble in a city that's even in bigger trouble. All right, friends, welcome back. So, Seattle, Washington, like I said, I've been there before. Space Needle, cruised around down there. It's great. It's a fun place to drive through and enjoy. But I would never, it's just insane to me. First of all, new construction, the builder, the home that we looked at today is what? You guessed it, a FOMO factory. It's staged, designed, color scheme, some think tank, designed all that to FOMO people into writing offers. And they got stuck. And why did they get stuck? I'm going to tell you. Because when that home started, that's what the problem with this bubble. The amount of investors that piled in was breakneck speed. Like there was musical chairs. The music stopped. When they started these projects, it was prior to the downturn, and they couldn't deliver them in time. And now they're delivering them into the worst possible market. So when you see hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity evaporate overnight, that's going to drag not only those new development homes, they're going to take losses. They're liquidating homes. What's it do to surrounding homes, even insulated neighborhoods from that? It drags their property values down as well. So when we saw the amount of money poured into circulation due to this stimulus, printing money, programs, doubled, practically doubled. We saw a lot of the cities like the ones we looked at today, their real estate followed suit in direct correlation. The amount of money poured into to the economy increased the value of many markets in America. And because of the whole crisis, remote working, the tech boom, the amount of locked at home environment, the companies that benefited from that, the companies that benefited from all the stimulus now are throwing people overboard. The white collar wage earners are the ones being laid off right now. And the white collar wage earners are the ones that went out there and bought homes. It's all brewing right now. Like, I don't really get it. I see a lot of channels out there trying to say, okay, this is a correction. I was wrong. We're going to have a correction in many areas. But no 2008 crash. I'm not willing to admit a 2008 crash. They're going to be admitting a 2008 crash in the mere months. We're at the front end of a recession, at the correction phase. If we can't stop it there, it enters into the recessionary phase. And because housing is a lagging indicator, because it takes a long time to get people out of the home or sell a home, the data is lagging. That's why you've always heard me say, throw the playbook out the window. The data will not save you. The psychology of people, the psychology of sales. This is every time the housing market has exhibited bubble behavior, not 1% of the time, 100% of the time they've crashed. So anybody telling me that this time is different, it can't crash, I have to politely disagree because of that simple fact alone. Every time the housing market is exhibited bubble behaviors, they've crashed. And this bubble was much different than any bubble ever seen. Every bubble has always had a different byproduct that created the bubble. This one was stimulus. We overstimulated the biggest asset class in the world. Agents essential, stifling inventory, locking people at home, and dropping interest rates. That type of upward pressure could not sustain itself. We're going to see some cities get nailed. I mean, hammered. I mean, a foreclosure crisis is the percentage of likelihood. I can't guarantee it, but just as a level-headed realist, I just know we've never seen overnight appreciation to never seen before highs like we just saw. And that is scary, friends. And it created the wealth effect for many Americans. And they went out and spent money much differently than they would have in a normal market. It was the biggest rug pull ever orchestrated in world history. When you overstimulated the economy, made people feel wealthy on paper, even in their checkbook, it wasn't good. And now with runaway inflation, the cost of feed, fuel the home or the car, people cannot keep up. And it's not going away overnight, even if we are able to tame the markets and bring inflation down to our 2% target range. It's not going to happen overnight. There's going to be blowback. The dust will settle, and we're going to pay the piper for the amount of stimulus poured into this economy. Mark my words. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see not only win in real estate, win in life. Understanding the biggest artificially created housing bubble in world history cannot sustain itself, will not sustain itself, and is providing the blowback. We took a look at a property today showing exactly that. Buckle up and strap in. We're at the front end of this. It's going to play out. The people that were prepared, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That way you come out somewhere in the middle. It's better to be prepared for something and have it not happen than have something happen and not be prepared. I'm going to continue to ring the bell, sound the alarm, read between the lines, and look between the cracks, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're really going to love the next video. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.